Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to your Thursday edition of the Two Buck Sports Show. I am your co-host, Rusty Buckets, coming to you live today from East Memphis with my guy, Drew Gann, a.k.a. Power Ranger, a.k.a. Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good. You know, it's been a busy morning. I've already been out touring some properties with a client, having this, and then I've got meetings all afternoon, so it's going to be quite the day. But I'm glad to be at least sitting here with you for the next 45 minutes or an hour or so.
Yeah, same. We've had a busy morning, crazy morning. It's a cold morning here, but today is mine and my bride's 5th wedding anniversary. So I had some stuff up my sleeve, but it's just not going to work out this year. I know she doesn't listen to this, Rusty, so I'll spoil it for everybody else. This was something that I heard about a few days ago. I implored into it very hardly, and it's just not going to work out, mainly because my wife is 33 weeks pregnant, and we are extremely busy with holiday festivities. But did you know, as I'm sure you did, you could take a one-day round-trip flight to New York City?
No.
So my aunt told me, she was like, guess what we're doing? Or my mom told me my aunt was doing. I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. For $100 a ticket, you can fly out of Nashville, Tennessee, go at 6 a.m., get to New York at about 9:30 a.m., and then explore New York City at Christmas, get on a flight at 10 p.m. back to Nashville. And I was like, that sounds awesome. I mean, talk about a surprise, but I guess they booked it out a little bit, and the closer you get now, it's like it wasn't $100 a ticket. It was like $175, $225 a ticket, and I can't really find a days to work because we're trying to preserve her PTO because we're having maternity leave here in 6 weeks or so. But I am nobody spoil it. I know she's not listening to this. Nobody spoil it. But I'm gonna have this up my sleeve for a random day. I'm just gonna be like, hey, and because her brother lives in Nashville too. Oh yeah. Just be like, hey, we're going to take the kids up to Nashville for the night or whatever, and then be like, okay, cool. Wake her up early. Brother's already been made aware he's watching the kids for a day. A day. Drive to the airport. Where are we going? Buckle up.
Dude, that'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun. It'd be exhausting, but that would be a lot of fun. And as somebody who's toured New York City, there's plenty to see and do, plenty of Christmas decor and activities. That would be a fun trip. So keep that in the back pocket for sure. But on Thursdays, we have a therapy session where we get things off our chest. And mine is, like, we try and typically keep these non-sports related. Mine today is sports adjacent, and you'll see why.
That's right. It's Thursday edition of the Two Buck Sports Show on Bluff City Media's YouTube page, on their X page, on Rusty's X page, on Rusty's Facebook page, so all of his old friends from high school can watch it. And I'd like to cordially invite everybody right now, if you're watching it anywhere else in the BCM YouTube page, come hang out. We've got King Meeks and Jared in the comments. We've also got Zach Eady Highlights calling me out. Within the first 5 minutes of our show, we'll address you later.
It's coming. We'll come back around to this.
Yeah, it's the Thursday edition of the show, which means we're just going to get a couple things off of our chest. So, Rusty, you go ahead. What do we got to talk about?
My nephews don't watch this show, so I can spoil it a little bit. But it is well known every year for Christmas, I get my nephews Grizzlies tickets. That's what we do every year, get an experience, because they get enough toys and clothes from my mom and her sisters and all their family that they couldn't possibly, remember all the presents and stuff that they get. So I always try and create an experience. Well, we typically go to the Jazz or the Wizards. I get good deals, obviously, on those, right? We got to see Colin Sexton last year. They're all Alabama fans, so that was fun. Well, this year I thought I'd do something a little extra special. My middle nephew's favorite NBA player is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay.
So about a week ago, I splurged and got Plaza Level, like, they're nice seats for us to go watch the Grizzlies and the Bucks the day after Christmas, 12/26, so that my nephew Ryder can finally see Giannis play in person.
Where this is going.
He's got the Bucks backpack. He's got the Giannis jerseys. He is going to be over the moon. Only for Giannis to get hurt literally yesterday, and the ShamWow came out this morning.
Wow.
That he's going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks with a calf strain.
That's a bummer. You know,
and that's just my luck, man. That's just my luck with these freaking Christmas presents. Something like this, like I'm planning out, like this is gonna be so great. I'm doing something so awesome for Ryder, and he's out 2 to 4 weeks. I mean, technically, there's a chance he plays, but right now it's just like kind of like sad.
No, he's not playing. He's never playing for the Bucks again.
Ever again.
We did the experiences last year for Christmas. I'm a huge fan of the experiences because you and I are in the same vein on this. Like, it is more fun. You will remember what you do more than what you get. And Absolutely. So last year, for our big presents for our 2 older kids, we got concert tickets for my daughter, and I bought the Grizzlies youth game day camp experience. Came with 2 tickets to the game that night, and he got to go out on the FedEx Forum court and shoot around with all the kids his age, and it was a ton of fun. But when I was booking that, I could have picked from several different games. There was a Jazz game in there was this game, there was that game, and I was like, I want this Oklahoma City game. That'll be a fun game. 2 top teams in the Western Conference. And by the time the game got here, it was like, maybe they'll beat us by 70. I don't know, but we're going to have a good time, and we may leave early.
Right. And that's kind of where we're at. No Giannis, whether he's hurt, like Jared says here in the comments, he's hurt or he's actually hurt. Either way, looks like I could have got these tickets for so much cheaper if I'd have. I mean, you can't possibly know. Yeah. But if I'd have waited till today or tomorrow, buddy, I could have got lower bowl. We could have smelt the players for what I paid for these tickets.
For real. I mean, what is the draw for Milwaukee if Giannis isn't playing?
Bobby Portis watching Kyle Kuzma throw a bunch of bricks. Like, I don't know. You hope for Kuzma to get a Snell stat line. You hope to see one of those in person, right?
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes and nothing else.
I was in a post-game bounce after – I don't remember what game it was. It's a week or so ago. And there was a commenter in there that was all over trading Jaren Jackson Jr. for Keon Ellis. And I don't know if you saw Keon Ellis's stat line. He went full Tony Snell last night with 20 points and no other statistics at all. I mean, 20 minutes and no other statistics at all.
The same thing happened literally last year with Kuzma. There was a small section, for whatever reason, of the fan base that was dying to get Kyle Kuzma on this team. God knows why. And literally, like, I saw a bunch of those tweets, and either that night or the next, he had the Snell stat line. And so it's just funny how that kind of works out, except for this time when it's really sad that I paid for Giannis tickets and not go get to see Giannis play.
Yep. I'm with you. I hate that for you. I hate that for you.
It just sucks.
Yeah. We had a birthday. My therapy, I guess, is just we've gotten to the money spending portion of the year for us because everybody has Christmas. I've got a lot of kids. My Christmas is expensive, but that's my choice. You know, I'm not going to complain about the price of Christmas when I have the amount of kids that I have, and I like to give gifts. I like to give them gifts, purchase them gifts. It's fun. I'm not complaining about it, but we have reached the time of the year where it's not just Christmas for us because my oldest daughter's birthday was Tuesday. My anniversary is today. The 17th is Haley's birthday. Then Jesus' birthday is the 25th, if you haven't heard. Factually correct and relevant. He was born on December the 25th.
Nailed it.
Year 3, I think it was.
Yeah, nailed it.
and then after we get into the first year, we're going to have a baby 2 weeks into 2026. And then it'll be my daughter's birthday 2/2, my youngest son's birthday 3/1, and then my oldest son's birthday 3/3. So don't ask me to help you out financially. We will give you plenty. We'll give you the floor for therapy. I will be an ear. Don't ask me for no money.
No, we can commiserate because Drew. It starts now with all his birthdays in December. Now you're gonna have a January one February, 2 March. Yours is in April.
Yeah. It's
just like a 5-month run of just like that meme from Little Rascals of just throwing the cash out the window.
It's 7 birthdays in between December the 2nd and April the 1st and an anniversary. But thankfully, then I go from April 2nd to December the 1st with nothing other than Mother's Day.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And yes, for those of you keeping up with home, it is on brand that Drew's birthday is April the 1st.
Yes.
April Fool's Day. It's right on brand.
It's almost like it was written in the stars.
It truly was. That you'd get a fool on your screen here with me on the $2 Sports Show live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel. Drew, well, we've already let the cat out of the bag a little bit. We got a lot of basketball to talk. We got a Ja hit piece to talk. We got some Grizzlies to talk. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it.
I appreciate everybody being here on this Thursday edition of the $2 Sports Show. I'm Uncle Buck. The guy got Rusty on my left. We are the $2. And now we're going to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have a 2-day off between ending the 4-game road trip and coming back home. They've got 2 nights to sleep in their own bed before we play the Los Angeles Clippers tomorrow night in FedEx Forum. So there's a lull here. We're not recapping a game. We're not previewing a game. So naturally, we still have to talk about the Grizzlies, which means naturally we have to talk about Ja Morant in the public eye and about how bad of a contract he is. And despite how bad of a contract he is, we're still talking about trading him at the same time.
I mean, again, it is wild. You can tell when the media cycle is kind of getting slower because you're going to get a Ja Morant hit piece, whether it's the Kings have inquired or the T-Wolves or whatever. Well, now they're saying on ESPN.com that the only players that Ja Morant could be traded for are other bad former All-Star guards, Trae Young and LaMelo Ball. And I say bad in a very loose meaning of the word because they're saying that their contract, they're overvalued, they're regressing, and they're not valued at large in the NBA anymore. But yet every team is calling about Ja Morant if you read the other days. So it's like ESPN. Which one is it? Is every team checking into Ja Morant that you reported? Or is it no teams are checking into Ja Morant because he's regressing and his contract is bad? You're talking out of both sides of your mouth here, and we ain't here for that.
Well, and I always just take such exception to headlines that say people around the league believe that Ja Morant and Trae Young are all negative values and wouldn't be surprised if they're traded for one another. That is just a sentence that is just complete and utter speculation and fodder. There's not reporting in this. This is rumor. This is friends talking amongst friends, probably venting, just water cooler talk about Ja Morant. And let me tell you, I was extremely critical of Ja Morant last year. I think that this year hasn't done much for him. It only gotten worse because of the suspension, the faux outrage over the Klay Thompson stuff, and then the injury. Everything that people are holding against Ja in pieces like this and public opinion of Ja, he's done nothing so far this year to correct his image. And so I don't really have an issue with anonymous sources, league representatives anywhere around any team saying that Ja Morant's contract could be a really bad contract. To me, that is a totally reasonable thing to speculate. But it is speculation. And honestly, what makes it even worse is when we were talking about Ja Morant at his prime, he was directly correlated with 2 people, Derrick Rose and John Wall. Derrick Rose and John Wall both fit the Ja Morant archetype. The fast guard, good in transition, flashy at the rim, can finish at the rim, great, really good assist guys, don't really shoot the ball well. I mean, that is Ja Morant, and it is those other 2 guys as well. And both of those guys flamed out and were not near hitting the peak of their talent because of injuries. And so it sucks. It's also the truth. And I don't really know how you correct it. And as Grizzlies fans, in my opinion, you just kind of have to live with it. Because much like I've went through the Lane Kiffin thing, and people were going to talk about Lane, and they're going to talk about Ja. They are lightning rod topics. They're very divisive topics, and that's what we talk about in the media.
Yeah,
and you just kind of have to live with it.
The injury parts, I'll get with that. They reference Ja's not admitting that he's not going to be dunking and attacking the rim as much. They referenced him earlier this season saying, I'm not getting any foul calls. Y'all had a whole spiel about running in there careless and getting hurt. So now what?
Like he said, I'm not getting hurt for this.
Yeah, I get that. But then they start referencing off-court issues. It's been 2 whole calendar years since off-court issues. I understand there's some pain in the ass, as they call it in the article,
right,
about like some of the coaching drama we saw a couple weeks ago. Where clearly you're not paying attention, because now him and T.I. dap it up, laugh, they're hugging each other on the sideline. Like, that clearly is water under the bridge at this point. Or they're really good actors. I'm choosing that it's water under the bridge because it looks genuine. And several of them are saying that, Ja has peaked, Ja's coming back down. But then you get to the bottom of the article, and it says there is a contingent of coaches, scouts, and executives who consider him more of a proven winner than Trae Young and LaMelo Ball. And of the 3, Ja is the one who could be saved. He's got to prove he can play again, and you can get him, one West executive said. Another one said it's a gamble, but I truly believe Ja will be fine at his next stop. But the Grizzlies are going to have to move Ja. They don't have a choice, and that's where I disagree. You don't have to move Ja. Jaren has a very tradable contract now. You can trade Jaren's contract for a lot of things should it come down to it. I love Jaren. He's my guy. But at the end of the day, he would be the one that gets moved because Ja Morant is the franchise, is the city, and I don't see Ja going anywhere.
No, I don't really see either of them going anywhere. And again, it's like, and I think the argument that this article is trying to make, or one of the arguments, is that the value has tanked. Like, they are become tradable, but at the same time, they're not worth the money they're getting paid, which is a really hard spot to be in. And the reason why they're saying that you could probably only trade Ja Morant, Trae Young, and LaMelo Ball for each other, because they all 3 of these kind of share the same commonalities where they're making a lot of money, but there's holes in their games. For Trae Young is that he can't hold up at all on the defensive end of the court. And LaMelo may just be a losing player. Like, he just may just be an empty stats player the rest of his life. And so I don't really know what you do. For the Grizzlies, there's no way they're trading Ja, and there's no way they're trading Jaren, because that is admitting defeat. This team has been reshaped 2 to 3 different times during the Ja and Jaren age in order to theoretically unlock Ja and Jaren, and Ja and Jaren are going the wrong way. So then what do you do? Because the only option if you do that is then you admit that mistakes were made previously, and then you trade Ja and Jaren and just completely lean into a rebuild, and that's just not going to happen. It's just simply not going to happen.
It's not. We're not at a rebuild stage right now, because if you admit defeat, like you said, then that's Zach Kleiman saying what I have been doing is not working. And I don't know that he would retain his job for the rebuild, because he's not been able to rebuild around Ja and Jaren over the last few years. I don't think that either one of them are going to get traded, but I think Ja even less so, just because of what he means to this franchise. Because if you trade Ja, you lose the city and you lose the fan base.
Yeah.
And if there is, Adam Silver's been more pro expansion over relocation. But if relocation becomes an option and you trade Ja, you will be number 1 on the list to get relocated.
Yeah, I mean, he's the ticket. It's not hard to realize that. He is the draw. Numbers, attendance numbers, I'm sure, are down dramatically this year over 3 years ago in particular, that 21-22 season in which you finished as the number 2 team in the Western Conference. Ja Morant was an All-NBA. He was an All-Star starter, all this other kind of stuff. I do not believe, just like I made the argument, just to show you that I'm being consistent with this, just like I made the argument last year that Taylor Jenkins didn't forget how to coach, Ja Morant did not forget how to play good basketball. He's got to, and Jaren either. You're right. Ja did not, and Jaren did not forget how to play good basketball. I don't know what it is in their psyche. With Ja, I think I know what it is. It's the fear of injury. It's the high flying nature in which he plays the game, coupled with the fact that he's not being put in a good situation. Like it's the game plan of it all that he has a problem with, coupled with the injury history and being too much online. I don't know what it is with Jaren, but you got to figure it out. And Ja has not played a game since November the 15th. They said 2 weeks for reevaluation. We're now over 2 weeks. We haven't heard anything. So I don't know if it's time to like put our spotty senses up yet, or because there's been no news at all, not even a report that we should be hearing something pretty soon. So I don't really know what's going on.
We should get a report later today in reference to the game tomorrow night. I believe we have to have an injury report out tonight. I'll be curious to see if we get a doubtful or a questionable or a PR update at that point. Either A, Ja Morant is progressing back and due back next week. B, Ja Morant is not progressing, reevaluation in X amount. And I'm not trying to put my tinfoil hat on here, but if they start extending this out, my spidey senses would start to tingle a little bit.
I don't care how far they put it out. I would just bury my head in the sand on this. Mm-hmm. Like, I will believe that there are actionable trade rumors about Ja Morant when he gets traded. I just don't believe it. I don't buy it.
Agree.
I don't care if they say he's out for the season. Like, I just I don't really buy it. It's weird because, like, with Ty Jerome, you met the threshold, the update period will be reevaluated, and then within a matter of 1 or 2 days from the projected, what they said they were going to give you an update, you got an update. Mm-hmm. And it seems like this one's going into week 3 after giving a 2-week deadline.
It's also and then you see literally yesterday, Giannis got hurt yesterday. Doc said after the game, we're doing an MRI right now, and then we get an update today. So, like, it can happen. Like, it can happen quickly, but that's one thing. Our medical team and PR releases and stuff have always been slow and fishy. So this one is obviously just going to be no different, unfortunately.
And again, this is just remind everybody, this is a calf strain. Last season, we saw 3 or 4 Achilles ruptures directly resulting from a calf strain. So pushing it out further is not something that I am putting out of the realm of possibility at all. I know this was just a grade 1, and Ty Jerome's was a 2 or a 3, but he was out 4 to 6 weeks, and then he was out 6 to 9 weeks after being reevaluated. And we don't know if that was a setback or what.
And when I said earlier that my spidey senses be tingling, I think, like, not so much in a Ja trade, Drew. I would say more of a quiet tank. Not that we're outright tanking, not that we're outright not trying to win, but slow rolling injuries. And yes, the calf, that's a good point about the calf injuries. You want to be smart, slow, and consistent with those. But it might signal, hey, you know what? We're going to punt. We're in a heavy draft. We're likely to have 2 top 10, top 15 picks. We're going to punt this thing to next year and give it a good go next year.
And while we're talking about injuries, and I'm going to admit something to everybody here that I may be ashamed to admit, although not really. Got the Shams report yesterday that Devin Booker was hurt, and I was like, please beat the season. Please beat the season. And it was 1 week. I was like, man.
While we're talking about the Grizzlies, before we fully transition to Giannis, because I do want to talk about him, I got called out on the Anthony Sane show the other day for some of the things that I was saying about the Grizzlies game against the Spurs the other night, for being upset about when the players were taken out and put in the fourth quarter and crashing out and all that. And it's funny, I woke up this morning to a Facebook memory of 1 year ago today, the same Anthony Sane tweeting out, our best guys played the last minutes and we still lost is a bad take. There's a difference in coming into a close game when the crowd is in the game, momentum has shifted, and you've lost your ability to win the game. And I retweeted that and said, for the TJ purists, this is literally all we're asking. Play your best players in crunch time. Not when the game is out of hand already and you have no shot. Like in this game was referencing a Mavs game last year where Luka, Kyrie, and PJ Washington played a combined 25 more minutes than Ja, Dez, and Jaren. It's just funny, like, here we are a year later, a new coach, a new system, a whole new thing, and we're still having the same conversations a year later. Because what is our biggest complaint right now, other than health, is our guys just don't play enough. Even the other night, Edey played 30 minutes. The only time our guys have really eclipsed 30 minutes this year continues to be the overtime game against the Pelicans. And so it's just funny how, like, the song and dance changed a little bit for a new coach, but it's the same issue we were having 1 calendar year ago today.
Well, I mean, I told you last year when they fired Taylor Jenkins, and I put Sane in this category too, and everybody that was just so anti-Jenkins, and Sane actually was, I don't know if he was stumping for T.I., but he was just letting everybody know really early this was going to be T.I., and he was looking forward to it, in my opinion. That you've painted yourself into a corner to where you have to support this guy for a little bit because we just fired who was renowned in the industry as a really good basketball coach in a season in which everything went south, horribly bad. And at the end of it, I wasn't even arguing that he shouldn't be fired. But
there was a lot of blame to go
horribly
around
bad.
last year.
But there was a lot of people that I said are going to have to be stuck with supporting T.I. because you wanted this for a long time. And again, to defend T.I. a little bit, as I've defended Taylor Jenkins, I'll be consistent there too. Ja Morant is still not playing basketball.
Agreed.
Some things never change.
Some things never change, but then we're still having the same conversation. Yes, Ja is out. Why are said Jaren and Edie still only playing 26, 27 minutes? And you look across the court, and those guys are playing 32 to 34. And so,
to me, the only difference in T.I. and Taylor is that now Jaren sucks too.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just Ja.
Yeah.
Jaren had a career year
good.
last year, and now Jaren sucks. And that's where I've said, okay, this is benefiting nobody.
Yeah.
You
know?
know?
I was very much in the camp of we got to move on from Taylor Jenkins, but I was very much not in the camp of it's got to be Tomas Isolo. I wanted a national coaching search. I wanted to go see what else was out there. So, like, I only changed my tune with T.I. because I had to. When he became our coach, I said, look, I'm going to ride with him and see what happens. But I've never been on record saying that this is exactly what I wanted. And so I'm still frustrated with that, especially since we're getting the same results. And so I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to hold T.I. accountable to the same things I held Taylor Jenkins accountable to last year. Play our best players more.
I will be consistent and say the same thing I said as soon as they hired him. It should not have been him. Because what happens when you hire the interim, Rusty, is that guy sat on beside the head coach last year as Ja Morant publicly dismissed and subverted the head coach, and he's just going to do the same thing to you. Like, and you saw that happen again. Like, you've got to have a brand new voice.
Did your Ole Miss hear that too? About hiring the interim?
Pete Golding is not an interim. He was never an interim.
He bypassed it altogether. But your former head coach did tweet out this morning. Speaking of Lane Kiffin, we'll get to that here in a minute. But it was did you see the little meme? The little picture he tweeted out?
No, I've unfollowed him on everything. This breakup feels great.
99% of people that judge you or have opinions on you have no idea what the blank is actually happening in your life, buddy. Like, you're
I
trying
agree
to
with
paint
that,
an image.
but I agree with that.
Case.
However, this is not applicable.
No.
Before we get off the Grizzlies, let me address being called out in the first 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah,
can we do that?
We'll circle back to college football because I do want to talk about Giannis after this. But yes, go ahead.
Okay. I said on the show that even the most ardent supporter of Zach Edey did not expect him to go 30-20 on a routine basis. And I stand by that. But I should have added the caveat that anybody who loves Zach Edey enough to name their YouTube header Zach Edey Highlights, I should have excluded you from this talk. Although I would never expect Zach Edey Highlights to have moderate, thoughtful taste about Zach Edey. You're a homer, and so yes, if Zach Edey Highlights told me that he guaranteed that Zach Edey would have 30-20 on a regular basis, then I believe it. But that guy is far from unbiased.
I never said 30-20, but I said that Zach Edey would be a really good NBA player. 30-20 is exceeding the expectations I have. Again, I don't have Zach Edey anywhere in my YouTube or Instagram or Twitter handles sure. I mean, I would not be wrong for doing that with as good as he has played lately and getting double. He's a walking double-double. You want to make money on FanDuel? Go to FanDuel and bet over on both rebounds and points for Zach Edey because your kid's consistently getting like 10.5 points and 11.5 rebounds. He's mashing that over night in and night out.
Since Ja Morant left and Zach Edey came in this season, not that there's a correlation, but it happened on the same game. The Grizzlies, I think, are now 6-3. And Zach Edey was averaging 12.5 rebounds. And then in the loss against San Antonio, he had, 14?
There was a stretch. There was a 3-game stretch where he's averaging 19 and 17.
Yeah, it's wild.
So, I mean, it's out there. Edey's been killing it and will continue to kill it. And I just hope that when Ja comes back, that can become that 1-2 duo.
And Zach Edey highlights don't say, you better not say. Like, buddy, I can say what I want to say. I've made a career on this podcast saying whatever the heck pops in my head.
That's it.
It has gotten me in trouble, and I've been right, but I'm going to say it.
Well, speaking of saying whatever you want to say, Drew, Giannis Antetokounmpo, it's been released that, he and his agent are having conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about his future and what that looks like with his organization. He's already moved his family back to Greece. He's trying to kind of lay in some of the groundation there. The groundation.
The
groundwork and groundation. The groundwork and foundation for a move out of Milwaukee.
Ding, ding, ding.
I've got 5 teams here that ESPN said that he is likely to go to, and I bet you could never guess who some of them are.
The New York Knicks,
the
San Antonio Spurs.
That's 2.
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
Not one of them. They're not on this article, but they've been. I've seen them tied to him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he should be. I laid out the case for Oklahoma City on the Daily Grind this morning. Mm-hmm. The Los Angeles Lakers.
No, another California team. No,
the Los Angeles Clippers. The
Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, that's right.
The Knicks, the Rockets, the Spurs, the Warriors, and the Atlanta Hawks were the 5 mentioned in this article on ESPN.com. And so basically what it is Giannis has not been happy with the direction of the team, how it's been going. He got the former coach fired, got Doc Rivers in there, expected some build around, then Dame gets hurt. Then they're trying to position, but clearly is disgruntled about how this team is being built around him. And so they're looking into options for the future. Yeah. Obviously the easiest path here, if you're the Bucks, is to try and build around Giannis there. You added Miles Turner. You didn't really you added Kyle Kuzma. You've added a few other pieces around him, but nothing really that can pair well with him. He still doesn't have a point guard. They got Cole Anthony, but Cole Anthony, shockingly, has not been all that great for Milwaukee. Hadn't played a lot, had some injuries, that sort of stuff.
He was a buyout guy. Yeah.
Ryan Rollins has been really good for him. He's been a nice little find. And other than that, they don't really have a lot of help around him. So do you think that the Bucks would or could build around him? I guess they haven't shown a likelihood to do it so far.
Listen, there's a lot of parallels. I went on a diatribe a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, when I was laying out the case for going ahead and firing T.I. and how the Bucks did this midseason when Giannis and Adrian Griffin got sideways and they fired him and they just went and hired a sitting NBA champion head coach and Doc Rivers. The parallels also go to the Grizzlies in this way with the player management side of it. Is in 2022, the Memphis Grizzlies had a starting 5 of Ja, Dez, Dylan, Jaren, and Steve-O. Mm-hmm. And then you had off the bench Melton and Kyle Anderson, and I'm sure I'm missing 1 or 2 role players. And what happened is over the time you let Dylan Brooks walk. And you replace him with nothing, and you trade Steve Adams, and you come back with nothing, and then you you let Kyle Anderson and DeAnthony Melton walk or get traded, and you come back with nothing. And Ja's like, well, you've gotten rid of my friends, and you've gotten me players that are not as good in return. And surprise, surprise, the team's not as good. That is the same exact copy and paste story that Milwaukee has done. Oh, you got rid of Chris Middleton. And what'd you get back? Kyle Kuzma? Oh, you got rid of Brook Lopez. Got back nothing. Oh, Drew Holiday is over here winning a championship in Boston. What do I have here? Damian Lillard, and he's a bum now and upset that he's not with his family in Portland anymore.
So you buy him out and owe him $20 million in each of the next 5 seasons.
Right. And so it's like you've now got me nobody to run with here, and you've limited the potential of getting me somebody to run with here. And so Giannis asks out, asks out, thinking about asking out, whatever you want to frame it, for about the 8th time in the last 3 years. And eventually it's just going to have to happen. I don't know where he goes. I don't really know what the Bucks can do to make him happy for the salary cap restrictions that they've got that we just laid out. I don't know what you can do. And if you are a Bucks fan, you're just getting really tired of this. And I know you are. You want Giannis to buy in, but at the same time, it's like sometimes you just like Mark when it got that time with like Mark and Mike and you had to trade them away. It was like, if this just isn't going to work, I would love to see them win a title somewhere. We got to see Mark win a title with Toronto. And
Giannis has brought them a title already, so he's already done right by him.
I don't think that this is a situation in which Milwaukee Bucks fans would hold it against Giannis for asking out, because the tea leaves read that way, and they've read that way for a long time, because you are not able to take the greatest, arguably the best player in the NBA over the last 5, 7, 10 years and put a team around him that can compete in a very weak Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and especially like you said, their restrictions are ugly. They've got $60 million in contracts between Miles Turner, Kyle Kuzma, and Bobby Portis. All three players have at least 2 years, so no expiring deals there. Most importantly, they don't own their own first-round pick until 2031. They have one in 2031 and one in 2032 that they could trade.
Okay, I didn't realize that. That's 6 years from now.
When they sent
5 years from the next draft,
they sent Pat Connaughton to Charlotte to make room to sign Turner. Also left the Bucks with no second-round picks for the next 5 years. So the Bucks have no picks to try and make any moves to get people around Giannis. So if you look at some of these trades,
and that's where it's different than the Grizzlies, real quick, because the Grizzlies can look at Ja Morant and be like, "We have a future, we have options, we have that all-knowing, all-loving flexibility. We can do things. You've got to show it." There's not anything that the Bucks can do, and their best asset is currently Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Right. Which if you trading some of these trades, like if they trade him to Houston, all the Bucks get back are Alfred Şengün, Fred VanVleet, and then a 2027 first round unprotected. So you get a couple of players, but no real assets to build. If he goes to San Antonio, it's for Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes, Kelly Olynyk, Jordan McLaughlin, and then 3 first-round picks in 27, 29, and 32.
I like that.
But there's a couple of them. The one that really makes the most sense if you're the Bucks, of the ones that are on here, the Grizzlies could do something similar, and unfortunately Oklahoma City could also do something similar. But it's the Hawks, because the Hawks would get Giannis and Cole Anthony, gets him a point guard, gets him Giannis, sending back Trae Young and Zachary Ricochet, and then a 26 first-round pick, a 27 first-round pick, a 29 first-round pick, and a 2031 first-round pick. So that's 4 future firsts. You have to add
first-round picks to take Trae Young's contract. Basically.
Exactly. So you got 4 compensatory picks, including a first-round in next year's heavy, deep draft, loaded draft, and it would be the better pick. But it's the first-round pick via the better of the Pelicans or the Bucks. So whichever pick is better, you would get next year.
Okay.
Because
Atlanta
it's not
going to be the Pelicans. It's not going to be the Pelicans, so it's your own pick.
You would essentially be getting your pick back next year. Then you get
and at that point they would probably tank. And they would probably tank and try to get in the lottery. It's not too late to just sell your soul, which it would be doing anytime you tank is selling your soul.
This is really interesting too. Ninja DJ brings up the point. No, Giannis has never insisted on leaving. This is the first time he's gotten serious about it, and so that tells you that there's definitely some fire with this smoke.
Yeah, this is not a malcontent situation. This is my clock is ticking. I'm in my 30s. I need to be in a contender, and you guys are showing you're not able to contend unless you ride me 42 minutes a game, and I risk ending my career.
Right.
If I were Milwaukee, Milwaukee's not a team that I can remember just really being pro-tank. That Giannis was picked like the 15th pick of the draft. There've not been a team like Charlotte, like Phoenix used to be, or the process Sixers, or these teams that just habitually tank and they can't figure it out. That's never been Milwaukee. So if you want a quick turnaround, something you're trading away your franchise, your city's favorite player, one of the greatest players in the last decade in the NBA, you're going to trade him away. I don't want to have empty bleachers next year. What you could do, and what I kind of laid out in the Daily Grind this morning, and this would be a nightmare scenario for the rest of the NBA, but Oklahoma City has 3 lottery picks right now. They've got the Clippers, which is currently in the top 5, I think. I can't remember. They've got their own, which won't be very good. And I think they got one more.
I think it's the Jazz.
The Jazz, which is going to be a good pick. If you could do a trade around all 3 of those picks and something else to get Giannis, and then you get immediate injection of youth, high quality youth. That Clippers pick, unless they turn it around, they could have 2 top 4 picks in a really, really good draft. That's how you re-inject immediate life back into that franchise.
Yes, so the picks they have next year is currently tied for 6, which is the Clippers, 14th, which is the 76ers, are the 2 that they currently sit with. Oh, and the Jazz. I was right. The Jazz at 9.
Okay.
Currently, the Grizz have the 10th, which is our pick, the 19th, which is the Magic pick, and that Phoenix pick that should be ours, if it's outside of the lottery, goes to Charlotte. But if it's a top 10, it comes to us. So that's currently where they sit. Oklahoma City is in the best position to go get him, which is a doomsday nightmare scenario for the rest. But with Oklahoma City, it would be mostly just picks because, you could send you can send Chet, you could send Hartenstein, something like that. But, I don't know that they're ready to give up on those guys. A. B, are those guys going to be good outside of Oklahoma City? Because Oklahoma City feels like it's a system, and sometimes system players like that don't always become plug and play, which is one of my concerns, like with Lauri Markkanen. Not that he's a system guy, but he's a stat merchant on a bad team. That doesn't always translate to a good team either. But if you're the Bucks, the smartest decision is to go to a team like Atlanta, Oklahoma City, even Memphis. And I don't think Memphis is ever going to enter in this conversation. I've seen a ton of picks where there's multiple teams where we end up getting one. I saw this morning, we got OG Anunoby and Landry Shamet back in a 4-team swap with the Knicks, the Hawks, and the Bucks. Then we shipped out KCP and Brandon Clark and then a bunch of our picks.
Sign me up.
I mean, I don't hate that.
I don't know about the picks, but
at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to get involved in this. But there is a path there with a Jaren, Gigi, whatever, and then a handful of picks because we control a lot of picks over the next several drafts. And Milwaukee still has all the leverage. Giannis hasn't demanded to be traded yet. They have one of the best, probably, if arguably one of the best 3 or 4 basketball players on the globe on their team. They still hold all the leverage. They don't have to ship him out for peanuts. They can get a historic haul for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, just I don't know, to your point about Oklahoma City, I tend to agree. They are currently, I did the math yesterday. They are 22-1. That is, if they continue this trajectory and you extrapolate that over 82 games, that is 78-6. No, 78-4. No, it was 74 wins. So 74-8. That's right. That's right. 74-8.
That's crazy.
And why willingly? I mean, I know Giannis is amazing, but why? What are you? Why?
What are you gonna mess that up for? Yeah.
If it ain't broke, the old adage.
It's going to be an interesting scenario as a Grizzlies fan with and just for reference, the Bucks would get Draymond, Kuminga, and Buddy Hield, a 26, 28, 30, and 32 first-round pick from the Warriors. But who knows? I don't know. We'll see. A doomsday scenario for Grizz fans is San Antonio because it just feels like he goes to San Antonio, they're going to be awesome again, and then we have to deal with him right down the road in our own division.
Or Oklahoma City.
I mean, obviously, Oklahoma City.
If he goes to Oklahoma City, it's all maybe elementary at this point, anyways, and we're watching a predetermined outcome for the next 5 years. I mean, I don't. It's frustrating, but I don't see a way that Oklahoma City gets derailed by anything other than self-inflicted errors
or injury.
Sam Presti is not going to self-inflict anything at this point.
They're in such a good position that even if they can't afford some of these contracts, they can trade them off, use picks, and then get a guy that could just continue this dynasty. Sam Presti has done an amazing job.
I got so mad because over this Lane Kiffin situation, I turned on Twitter notifications for all of my favorite Ole Miss beat reporters, the ones that I trust with any kind of news. And so I was getting Twitter alerts anytime they would tweet, and I was always hoping that it would be some kind of nugget to quench my thirst on the Lane Kiffin thing. But this one beat writer in particular, who is the best one in my opinion, the one I follow most closely, is a diehard Thunder fan. And on multiple occasions, I would check my phone, see a tweet from Neil McCready, hoping it was a Lane Kiffin thing, and it was gloating over another Oklahoma City Thunder win. And I would just wanted to bash my head into a wall.
Makes me like Neil McCready even less. That he roots for two teams that I despise.
Yeah,
I saw a tweet the other day about
he would
that.
hold exception that he was an Ole Miss fan.
Right, because he went to school in ULM or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, on the other side of this commercial break, we're going to talk some college football hypotheticals. Shout out to the Vanderbilt University for this idea. They had a bang-up idea, Drew, that I would have loved to seen happen. It didn't work, but we're going to talk about that right after the commercial break.
In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
Are you going after some guy that is looking at Memphis as a stepping stone opportunity, or a guy who's coming in saying, man, this is my dream job, I want to be here for the rest of my career?
Everybody's going to say that they want to be here for the rest of their career, and everyone's going to use it as a stepping stone job. Memphis is a stepping stone job.
I know a lot of Memphis fans would hear you say that and say, oh, Christian, no, man, like we need a guy who wants to be here and build.
Why?
No
one wants to stay at a group of 5 school for 15 years. Like that's not how coaches work. College football coaches did not become head coaches to stay at a group of 5 school. Everybody has higher aspirations. You got to be a little bit of a psychopath to be a football coach. And that ego, that psychopath in you is not going to let you sit at a program where you can't win a national championship for 15 years.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 10 a.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem.
Welcome back to the $2 Sports Show, Thursday edition of the show. We started this show off with a therapy session late. Rusty gripe and complain about the outcomes of his ticket purchases after purchasing his nephew's tickets to the Bucks game, spending way too much money to go now have to watch Miles Turner and play basketball. And then we talked about Memphis Grizzlies, an assortment of topics underneath that segment. And now we're going to get into some college football. I would like to invite everybody really quickly once again to hit the thumbs up button on the stream here in YouTube. If you're not in YouTube watching, get to YouTube. Get in the chat. But before you get into the chat, give us a thumbs up. It helps us more than what you realize. It makes us more marketable. It helps us make the show a lot better. And it will not cost you a dime. So please like it here. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You can subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so that you do not have to worry with the obligation of your own memory serving you right and remembering when this show is coming on every single day. You can just be told. We will do that work for you. We will invite you in every single day if you subscribe and turn on the notifications.
Exactly. Warm welcome every single day. But speaking of warm welcome, unfortunately, there is a team on the outside looking into the college football playoffs, and Drew, they were ready to quote the great Tony Allen, "You ain't got to get ready if you stay ready." Apparently, Vanderbilt was staying ready as it was announced that they were eagerly looking into a possibility by Pete Thamel to play a exempt 13th game this weekend in order to give one final showcase that they were one of the teams to make the college football playoff. There was interest from the team. Oh, yeah. You imagine them in Miami, Utah, Texas again, like any of these kind of fringe teams that are trying to get in to lace it up and play Vanderbilt. Like, just make it fun. Go to Hawaii, Boca Raton, like a neutral field somewhere, and just go. Like, dude, that would have been a freaking bomb. That's it. The MUS right here, downtown Memphis. Like, come on, let's go. Let's go. Like that would have been an awesome. And Clark Lee said, he told his players, have your bags packed, be ready to go. He said, we'll prep in 2 days, 1 day, doesn't matter. Give us a shot to prove we belong. And I wish they would have, Drew.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been fun, but obviously outside of the logistical nightmare of it, you know, trying to organize a travel party of probably 200 people that it takes to travel with team and staff and equipment personnel and bus drivers, the whole shooting match. And to make that happen would be extremely slim unless they were being able, unless they scheduled Belmont to come across the city to play them in Vanderbilt. It'd be really hard to do, but I love the idea of doing it. But unfortunately, it's just going to be too little too late for Vanderbilt. They, despite beating Tennessee on the road, it was one of our beefs we got into yesterday about the College Football Playoff Committee poll. Despite beating Tennessee on the road in Neyland Stadium in rivalry week, they did not jump one single spot and stayed at 14, and you really have to get to 10 to get in, and it's just not going to happen for Vanderbilt. Props for thinking outside the box.
Yeah,
but
I mean, listen, I love that.
You've got to do that, and you've got to let the committee's got to give you assurances that they will take it into consideration. And those guys, I doubt very seriously, would like this kind of stuff spurned on them like this.
They don't. They don't, because like it doesn't fit their equation. Vanderbilt's not one of the teams that they want in, so they're not going to do anything to make the math work. Case in point, they boat raced a team that the playoff committee had ranked in the top 20, despite not having a single win over a team with a winning record in Tennessee. Boat raced them, causing Tennessee to fall out of the top 25, ultimately punishing them, despite Alabama being tied in the final 5 minutes with an unranked 5-7 Auburn team and giving them credit for a gutsy win over a team that never even sniffed the college football playoff top 25. Yeah. Make it make sense.
I want Vanderbilt in this. Yeah. This 12 more almost as much as I want Ole Miss in it. Like they would be my number 2 team. Like I want Diego Pavia in the playoff. Unfortunately, as a trying to be unbiased and look at resumes, I don't see how you can legitimately put them in. And this is not a Texas conversation.
No.
Texas lost to Florida, and I kind of think you just have to put Vanderbilt in over Texas, and that's probably the first reason why it would never happen. The committee would never do it, is because they would have to jump Texas when Vanderbilt lost the head-to-head there. But if you just look at the other 10-2 teams that are in it, you know, Alabama's 2 losses are to Oklahoma and Georgia. Oklahoma's 2 losses are to Ole Miss and Ole Miss and Texas. They don't have the best resume of 2 lost teams. And so that's the reason why I was so scared as an Ole Miss fan I went into the season saying 10-2 gets you in. That's the goal. Don't care how you get there. That's the goal. It turned out not to be true. And if Ole Miss would have taken a loss to Mississippi State or Florida or South Carolina, they would not have deserved to be in because they don't have they've got a bad loss. And Vanderbilt, they've got 2 losses to Alabama and a loss to Texas. And their best win is at Tennessee. I just don't. I want it more than anything. I just don't see how they get in.
Agreed. And so one of the things that was floated that could help fix this was kind of it's a complete overhaul of the system. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. It's the point after CFB on X. I saw this morning. You could do it like with some auto bids and then play-in style games. So it would expand the field a little bit. Honestly, you could probably eliminate conference championships with this, given that they don't matter a ton right now anyway. Number 1 and number 2 are playing in the Big Ten title. They're both getting in. Alabama, Georgia playing in the SEC. They're both getting in. The ACC and Big 12 are a little bit different. But in this system, you would have auto bids from certain conferences to where you would have
2 from each conference.
2 from the SEC, 2 from the Big Ten. This year, it'd be Virginia is automatically in, and then Texas Tech from the Big 12. So that gives you 6 teams in the college football playoff. But then you would get matchups like A&M, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Texas and Oklahoma again, Oregon and Illinois, USC, Washington, Michigan, Iowa would set football back to the 1950s. But you would get more football to where you would have these play-ins, and then the winners of these play-ins would then be seeded into a 16-team bracket with 15 teams in the G5 champ, the group of 5 champion crap. Drew, if we're going to do this, let the G5s have their conference championship, and then you telling me that we could get a game between Tulane and James Madison for a right to go play for the college football championship? Inject that in my veins, man. Come on. And so this is what the playoff team this is how it would seed out if they played these games, and then the winners moved into this bracket. Yeah.
All right, so I don't think I'm pro expanding the playoff at all. I think that
for the record, I'm not either.
I think this is a pretty good situation here. If you went to 16 teams, what that would do is eliminate buys. It would start the 1-16 like you see in the NCAA tournament, where it's just going to be a blowout between 1 and 16 and 2 and 15, and I just don't like it. And the reason why, there's 2 reasons why people would be in support of a 16 team or just expanding it past 12, and that's because you got left out. Well, take it from somebody whose team was left out last year. There was a lot of Ole Miss fans stumping for Ole Miss to get in. They finished 13th or 14th, I think, in a 12-team playoff, and that's going to happen regardless. Somebody is going to feel screwed, and somebody's going to get left. That happens in a field of 68 in the March Madness bracket. Teams get screwed, and that's just kind of the way it is. I'm not about expanding the playoff. I want to put legitimacy into the selection process. If you can guarantee me the 12 best teams, I don't care if my team is team 13. You know, Ole Miss last year, they did a lot of complaining. You know, you beat Georgia at home. That was your big win. You beat Oklahoma last year. You did this, you did that. But you lost to Florida. You lost to Kentucky, and you lost to LSU despite not trailing for a single second in that game. And anybody who said that this was some agenda against Ole Miss, or any Miami fan that says this is an agenda against Miami, this is a problem, well, Miami, you probably shouldn't have went and lost to Louisville. Like, you don't get dropped. Undefeated teams, 11-1 teams, don't get left out of the playoffs. But you go and lose. Texas, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're 9-3 and you went and beat Texas A&M this year. It was a great win. You also lost to Florida.
And you went to overtime with Mississippi State. You struggled with Kentucky.
Overtime to Kentucky. There's got to be a line somewhere, and the keeping on extending it out for teams to not feel like they got left out or getting screwed is not right. But the overwhelming reason why this will end up happening is because of TV money.
That's the whole this whole thing is about TV money, and it will happen because it's more money for them. But reality is, what should fix it? It's not going to be more teams getting in and less teams getting left out. Is a more objective way to determine who are the 12 best teams. Because as long as you have a committee sitting behind closed doors, sending out a sacrificial lamb in Hunter Yurachek, who parades out there and talks about rushing yards and comeback victories and tied late with a rival who's also 5-7, you're not getting a fair shake regardless of if it's 10, 12, or 120. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get a fair shake because it's very obvious they have 12 teams in mind, and then they make the math work to make it work.
Yeah, we're just
leaving it. 12
again,
feels like the 12 feels like the sweet spot, but the way to fix it is the BCS computer system with the 12 teams.
Yeah, it just feels like we're talking about the wrong thing again. You know, like with the Lane Kiffin situation, I felt like we were talking about the wrong thing. It's not about, you know, whether he should or should not be allowed to coach the playoffs. It's that he's leaving. We're talking about the wrong thing here, and we're outraged about the wrong thing. We should not be outraged that Miami gets left out. The reason why Miami in this situation would get left out, if everything goes chalk this weekend, you should be outraged that the committee did not hold head-to-head matchup with enough, stringently enough. Like, that's what you should be mad about. It's not about a 12-team playoff. It's because the committee's an idiot.
That's exactly right, because there's going to be a world where you end up with Miami and Notre Dame next to each other, and they're going to rationalize, because right now there is one team separating Notre Dame at 10, BYU at 11, Miami at 12. BYU loses to Texas Tech. Theoretically, you're going to have Miami and Notre Dame side by side.
And that's why I said yesterday they set it up. They set this up for them to finally be next to each other and for them to jump. So they should have just jumped them.
They should have jumped them, exactly.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have that conversation. But you can move the goalposts all you want as long as you've got a room full of athletic directors who have no idea what they're doing. Hunter Yurachek can't even pick a coach. He got to Ryan Silverfield because he let things leak out. He clearly can't even do that process right. What makes you think he's going to objectively look at the list and say there are 12 teams here that are the best 12 teams in the country? Because honestly, based on resume and how they play and the stats that are in that data-driven memo, I think Vanderbilt should be in the top 10. I mean, they played a gauntlet of a schedule, and their 2 losses were competitive, good losses on the road versus Notre Dame's 2 losses were at the beginning of the year. Then they played a cupcake schedule after that and didn't play anybody with a pulse and won't until the playoffs. And if history holds, last year notwithstanding, they had an easy path last year with Indiana and Penn State. But if they play a team with a pulse in the playoffs, they'll get boat race. See Alabama and Notre Dame circa 2012 or whatever that was.
Let me push back on the Vandy thing. Again, I'm a big Vandy supporter this year. I'm Team Bargatze. I'm Team Pavia. I love Clarkley. I love what they're doing here. I want them in. But if you're looking at it, you know, the SEC, they've got to have better resume than Oklahoma at this point because they are the lowest ranked SEC team. They are also 10-2. Who has a better resume between Oklahoma and Vanderbilt? Oklahoma's 2 losses are to Texas in a rivalry game and to Ole Miss. Vanderbilt's is a 2-score road loss in Tuscaloosa and a road loss in Texas against Texas. So you've got to make the comment. I mean, you've got to make the statement that Vandy deserves it more than Oklahoma. Are you willing to do that? I don't think I am.
I am over Notre Dame and some of these teams ahead of them because looking on ESPN.com, the strength of resume, Vanderbilt has the 11th best strength of resume. They're 14th in the FPI, 14 AP poll. Their strength of schedule is the 22nd toughest, which is 20 points ahead of Notre Dame. It's
above Ole Miss. I know that.
8 points ahead of Ole Miss, 13 ahead of BYU, 3 ahead of Georgia. Ohio State and Indiana are 46 and 45 respectively.
Where's Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's strength of schedule is ahead. They're 12th. They have the 12th toughest, and their 9th best resume.
You're getting into some how many bids is the SEC going to get? You know, because you've got right now Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma. That's 5, right? I didn't miss anybody. That's 5.
Oklahoma, Alabama, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Are you
5,
going to
yeah.
really put 6 SEC teams in? And I'm just providing a counterpoint that the
I get
committee's thinking about.
I get it. But if you look at the BCS rankings, if the BCS were today still at the end of the regular season, use your top 12 teams. Ohio State, Indiana, 1, 2, obviously. Georgia, Oregon, Ole Miss round out the top 5. No real arguments there. I think those are probably the 5 best teams in football. 6 is Texas Tech. 7th is A&M. 8, Oklahoma. 9, Notre Dame. So there's your top 9. Again, Notre Dame I could probably argue with, but this is based on computer rankings, so this is the math. Math doesn't care about your feelings.
Right.
Number 10 is Alabama. Number 11, BYU. Number 12, Vanderbilt Commodores.
Which means they would get
They're on
left
the
out.
fringe. Because there's
It means they would just get left out because the G5's getting in. You still have to follow the rubric when it comes to what automatic bids and stuff like that. So they would still get left out.
Unless BYU gets boat raced again by Texas Tech, Vandy goes to 11. One of the group of 5
still get
becomes
left out.
12.
They would still get left out because you don't have an ACC team in there or a second power. You don't have 5. You would have 5. You would need Duke to win, and then James Madison's going to get in. So I mean, you've got to be 10. That's the rule. The top 12 doesn't matter. You've got to be top 10.
So I mean, there is a I just don't think that so you got to have 5 conference champs. If you would have 4 plus a group of 5 conference champ, if you have the Big 10, the SEC, the Big 12, who am I missing? Those 3, you would have to have an ACC champ in a group of 5. So yeah, I mean, if you're not,
but in this case, you run the risk of getting the American and the Sun Belt because the ACC is so garbage.
It's so garbage
because you've got to have 5.
Then Vanderbilt still gets left out.
Yeah.
I do think that but this is based on computer algorithms. This is based on a lot of factors, not rushing yards, not close games with your bitter rival. This is pure math. And with this, there would be no argument. You would. This is probably not the most perfect, but looking back, the BCS
but you can't
was
poke
pretty
holes
close.
in the biases.
Exactly.
You talked about getting rid of SEC conference championship games and how
they never will. By the way, it makes too much money, but it's a route.
I wholeheartedly disagree. I want to keep the validity of championship games. I want to keep the validity of regular season games, and that is the main reason why I am anti-expanding the playoff.
Yeah.
Because Ole Miss is going to get an at-large, but that game, that SEC championship game matters, but just barely. We are losing the importance of a lot of these championship games, and I don't like that.
I agree.
If you can reshuffle the bracket in a way that makes the conference championship games some sort of in the bracket, you got four power conferences, and then you find a way to work in round 1 as the SEC championship game, then I could listen to it, but no conference is going to agree to that because then Alabama or Georgia are going to be eliminated against each other, and so it's just that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I'm not sitting here advocating for it. I was presenting a system earlier it was not my system. I'm not trying to advocate for an elimination of a championship game. A. B, it would never would happen. It brings in too much money, too much TV revenue, all that kind of stuff. But I agree. Like Kirby Smart said this week, it's the SEC championship game. It matters. It matters a whole lot.
And as an Ole Miss fan, it was so frustrating watching that Iron Bowl, knowing that if Auburn wins, we're in the SEC championship game. But because of Lane Kiffin's fiasco, I was rooting so hard for Alabama so that Ole Miss wouldn't make their first ever SEC championship game. It is still important. It is still important.
Yeah, it is still very important. Even to the point that I saw a Tulane fan trolling an Ole Miss fan this past week when they were kind of going back and forth about coaching in the playoffs, and somebody said, yeah, Tulane and Ole Miss are not on the same plane, and this Tulane account tweeted the 1949 SEC championship trophy and said, shut up. Which made me laugh hysterically.
It's true. Ole Miss does not have an appearance in the SEC championship game.
I'm about to say there are 4 SEC teams that do not have 5 SEC teams who do not have an appearance in the SEC championship game. Do you know who those 5 teams are?
Ole Miss, Vandy. I'm going to say Kentucky.
and there's 2 more.
I want to say South Carolina, but I don't feel like that's right. Is that right?
Mm-mm.
Because the Spurrier, they may have made it one time.
They made one time.
I know A&M did. I know Missouri did.
Did A&M?
Did they make it under Manziel? Or did they?
They have never made it.
Okay, so he beat Alabama that year in the regular season, but Alabama was a one-loss team, and they lost 2 games. So
yeah.
All right, so A&M's never made it. Who's the last team?
Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about them.
Because they're new, right?
2
but
new,
of the
yeah.
original, the 3 original SEC teams that have not made it, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky.
Yep. So, all right. Well, that was a really in-depth conversation on the college football playoff and some speculation, some ideas that we floated out there. Let us know if you agree, disagree. Don't care if you disagree or agree, as you can let us know about it. You can complain, you can gripe, you can moan, you can do it in the comments, you can do wherever you want to. As long as you first like this stream, like this video, and subscribe to the channel, you can say whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Just come on in, hang out with us, as long as it's not in all caps and you have hit that like button on your way in. We appreciate it. But that's going to do it for your Thursday edition of the show. I am Rusty Buckets. Appreciate y'all being here, hanging out with me and Uncle Buck. We do this Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel and various social media pages because we love it. It's fun. We do it for the love of the game. It's what we like to do, how we spend our days, and we like spending it with y'all. So make sure y'all pop off in the comments. Let us know. It helps drive the show. We'll be back. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel. But in the meantime, go be a friend to somebody who needs a friend. And Drew, tell them why there are no refunds.
That's right, because with the $2, you always get what you pay for. Happy Thursday, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.